like kid and play. Yeah, the way that she serving it, I gotta sit back and digest. I guess for the bias.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here, joined by the great Shaquille O'Neal and the equally great Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight, it'll be the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against the Detroit Pistons. And guys, for the Pistons, we're seeing a team now that looks like it's hitting its stride. Just as we're getting through the dog days of the midseason, they're playing their best basketball. And tonight we'll be watching the talented Reggie Jackson take to the floor. One of those players who turns it up a notch in crunch time. Guys, he can be tough to stop. Can't he?
He can be. I wonder if he's named after the baseball player.
I don't know. Could be.
He hits a lot of home runs himself, with those three-point shots, and he's able to get it done. He has a premonition about what he's going to do on the court.
You don't want to be known for being a great player in October, though, if you're this Reggie Jackson.
No, not at all.
No, that's not going to get you very far.
That's not going to get you far.
No. What do you want? You
point
calling your shot?
That was Babe Ruth.
Yeah, it was Babe Ruth.
That wasn't.
No, Reggie Jackson did it one time.
No, he didn't.
I was at the game when he did it. Anyway,
you're
this Reggie Jackson has a lot of confidence in himself. He wants to take the last shot every time. I was at the game when Reggie Johnson did like that.
He did
that. And he hit it to the exact same spot.
What'd they call Reggie Jackson, by the way?
Mr. October.
Oh, good. I'm glad you were listening. Here's Kevin Harlan.
Yeah.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And a stirring rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner by the terrific Linda Lynn, getting us ready for NBA basketball here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan. We've got Chris Webber and Greg Anthony with us, and from the sideline, we'll be hearing from David Aldridge. This game marks the end of the stretch at home for the Cavaliers, back on the road tomorrow. Their last encounter was in Detroit, where they were able to handle the Pistons.
And always tough on the road, but that attack mindset that they brought offensively, I really felt like that set them apart.
Well, also great execution. Let's not forget about that. Being active gets you only so far if you lack the discipline.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy was the head coach in Miami, Orlando, and now Detroit. Now, he's promised his wife that this is the last stop. He said, I wanted one more shot at it. I've got a great owner, and I should be able to get it turned around in the time that he's giving me. If I don't, I don't. But this will be the last one. Kevin?
And DA, it's obvious that Stan has a real love for the game. Here's hoping he turns that storied franchise around. And both these teams very aggressive. Looking at early offense, transition defense, I think would be critical. What do you think?
Up-tempo basketball, Kevin. Up-tempo basketball. Right now, the pace. How do you control the pace? You got to control the boards. You got to be aggressive on the defensive end, because this game can get out of hand if you don't get back on defense.
And it's the Pistons to start out. And now the opening lineup for Detroit. Lure and Drummond together down low. Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt. And it's Harris in at the small forward. And that one's good. Drummond's got the first points up on the board for the Pistons.
And Drummond is so ridiculously strong inside, just simply overpowering the D in the post.
Rose passes to Thompson. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
Now that was a sensational feed. He hit him right on the move.
Bradley with the ball. He feeds it to Drummond. It's hauled in by LeBron. Detroit on D. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And I feel like the defense was one step behind all night. I mean, they never made the adjustments to string together a few stops.
Oh, great timing. He is one tough customer on that offensive glass.
You know, it's like he has a sixth sense of where that rebound is going. Now Jackson following the three-point attempt by Derrick Rose. And here's Bradley from three. And James pulls it down. About a minute and a half through the first quarter. Outside Thomas. There's the three. And LeBron James good for three.
Got to guard James from the perimeter. He has worked on his three ball a lot over the years.
Jackson against Thomas. Jackson kicks to Drummond. Passes it to Harris. 4 on the shot clock. Steps back and fires. Good on the jump shot.
Oh, you love the use of the mid-range jumper from Harris. Just takes his time and makes sure he's in rhythm before releasing his shot.
Love kicks to Rose. Back to Love. And a miss there on the triple. The Pistons have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Lure the screen. It's stolen by Rose. And the Cavaliers pushing it up now. And it's Love missing.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over it.
And Bradley gets it to go.
Oh, brave in the paint, Bradley gets it done.
The Cavaliers trail by 3. Outside Thomas. Thompson outside. Thompson a screen on Harris. Harris against LeBron. Outside for Thomas. Just 4 to shoot. Rose no good. Detroit leading by 3. Here's Harris. Over James. And the basket by Harris. Harris has got his second bucket.
But you got to respect how much Harris hustles out there. He earns every rebound he gets.
It's a pick by Love. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That is his first foul of the game. Here is Thomas. 14 points from him the last game against Indiana. Rose kicks to Thompson. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Thomas.
Yeah, love the job they've done here to protect the paint.
Some solid defense there from Jackson. Drummond a screen. Drummond with a screen on Thomas. Off the screen. Second shot opportunity. And it's Drummond missing.
That type of defense doesn't always get it done. But it does the job that time.
Rose dishes to LeBron. That's tipped. Thompson with it. Picked up by Harris. Looking to end the drought. Rebound, Detroit.
The thought of what Andre Drummond could be down the road, I mean, really is just scary. I mean, he could dominate. If he just gets a handful of go-to moves in the post, you can't stop him. He's an offensive bully on the glass. And just potential is there.
Now, that's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those 2 things that he possesses.
Now here's James. His last outing, 16 points for him. To the left side wing. Thomas outside. Again, Thomas missing.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Harris kicks to Jackson. Inside. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond. Now let's check out the rebounds and where they're coming from. Here's a breakdown showing the front court and the back court rebounding numbers for the Pistons.
And their big men are getting the bigger percentage of these boards. You know, you expect that, and they'll need them to continue to patrol the paint and clean up the mess if they're going to win this game.
Offensive rebound, Thompson, and it's Thompson with the jam.
Look, Thompson's getting after it. A highly skilled offensive rebounder and crashes with power.
Pistons leading by 3. Jackson passes to Lewis. Back to Jackson. Down low and stolen by Love. Rose kicks to LeBron. Near the three-point line, it's Thomas, and it comes off the front of the rim.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
Sometimes you get a little outside of yourself. You have to be a little more disciplined.
Now here is Harris. An 11-point game for him in the win against Oklahoma City.
So his rebounding stood out too. He gave them a big lift on the board. I'm not sure if the D bothered him or if he just lost concentration on that one, but that's a layup he should convert.
Rose dishes to Love. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got rebound number 8 now on the night.
Everything he is throwing up has been off. He needs to find his groove, and soon.
Now here's Jackson. He picked up 18 points in their last win against Oklahoma City. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Jackson against Thomas. Outside Rose. Fires for 3. Thomas with another miss.
Well, he hasn't been very precise at all this year.
It's stolen by Rose. Now Love. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Thompson passes to Thomas. Rebounded by the Pistons. Drummond's got rebound number 10 tonight with that last one.
A frustrating start to this quarter for him.
Bradley kicks to Jackson. They need this one, and it's Bradley. That time on the assist from Jackson. And the Pistons lead by 5.
Oh, and when there's an open man, Jackson finds him, making it look very easy.
So timeout call here, the first for Cleveland. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
And this is why scouting is so important. You've got to be able to identify those role players who can complement what your team does.
Yeah, that was big-time production from the bench, especially on the offensive end.
Catching up on the changes for Cleveland. Channing Fries checked in for Thompson. Crowder comes in for Kevin Love. Smith checked in for James. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Rose. Nice shot by Smith.
Now look at this. This is one of Smith's specialties. He has a quick release fire off the pass.
There's a screen by Marjanovic. Now here's Johnson. Marjanovic, a screen on Smith. Johnson can't get it to go.
Even that close to the bucket, that's a very tough finish in that kind of traffic.
And Thomas has it in the corner. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity.
And how about that exhale there? Finally gets one to fall through 6 attempts.
Well, how about Isaiah Thomas making his second All-Star game last season? I mean, many people felt he should have been a starter. The fan vote ended up early and giving it to Kyrie Irving and DeMar DeRozan instead, but terrific season for Isaiah Thomas.
And the free throw is good, now leading by 1. And Thomas last season setting career highs in scoring and efficiency, Chris.
He took his play to a new level. Only 5'9", but you can't measure the size of his heart.
Now, here is Smith. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Oklahoma City.
Don't forget his rebounding work, too. They couldn't contain him on the glass.
Udrich can't hit.
The D pretty much taking that possession off, but the shot's off target if nobody moved.
Here's Smith. And no good that time. And the Pistons now going the other way. Smith kicks to Udrich. Thomas against Smith. Smith dishes to Udrich. And there's the foul on Jay Crowder. That's his first foul. Smith outside. The pass to Udrih. 6 to shoot. They get it back. Here's Marjanovic. And it's Wade with the rebound. Cavaliers leading. Kicks to Thomas. Feeds it to Crowder. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And there's the foul against Detroit.
And this Cavaliers team, for all its talent, rarely in league history has a superstar yielded so much control is built around LeBron James.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now. And he can't get the first one. And LeBron not shy about making his voice heard when it comes to moves he feels the Cavs need to make.
He wants to win. His understanding of the game isn't just limited to his part to play, but also the pieces around him as well.
Now, here is Smith. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Here's Johnson. No good, unable to end this run.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
The best laid plans, right? Well, I tell you right there, though, that's one they'll take every single time.
Smith outside. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Smith's got his second basket of the night.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And J.R. Smith picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. .111 left in the first. And it's Udrih in the corner. Here's Marjanovic, and that one good.
Yeah, there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside position.
Thomas against Smith in the corner. Crowder with it. Wade passes to Fry. Out to Smith. Cleveland moving it around. 4 on the clock. Thomas. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
Oh, that's a brutal giveaway. A pass to no man's land.
.41 seconds left to play in the first. There's a screen by Marjanovic. And here is Johnson. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Goes back up, and that one's good. Marjanovic.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
I tell you what, it's like football, having a 3rd and 13 and them running up the gut. It just frustrates the defense. You have to hate giving up second chance points. It's demoralizing. After basically, I mean, you had to stop.
Now here's Thomas. Just 5 on the clock. On baseline J, and the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. Smith. No good that time. And there's the horn. We've seen some good defense on both sides, and the score is still close. Cleveland ahead. They lead by 1. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. And of course, as we've always seen with LeBron James, it's not just about the numbers, but his tremendous, tremendous leadership.
I put all the pressure on me to be better and come through for my teammates. This is the position I put myself in. It's the position I put our team in, and as the leader and the guy that goes out there and make things happen, that's the way it's going to be.
Well, that there is straight talk from a man who does not pretend. LeBron James with a textbook example of how to take responsibility and lead.
And Kevin, that's why he is the king. He doesn't say, hey, I'm just one of the 5 guys. No, he knows who he is and what he has to do. Bottom line, he's the man. Climb on my shoulders, and I'm going to take you to the promised land.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And from what we've seen from the Cavaliers, what do you guys see?
I mean, an interesting first quarter. The pressure D seems to be causing a lot of turnover.
Well, that's what happens when you're aggressive on that end of the floor. They took a few chances and took control of the game.
Here are the 5. Detroit has to start the second quarter. Marjanovic is out there with Jason Smith. And it's Udrich. Then there's Ish Smith. And it's Johnson in at the 3. Wade outside. 6 on the shot clock. Rebound by the Pistons.
Defensively, they could have done better. That's an open look he'd like to have back.
Johnson kicks to Smith. Pass to Smith. The feed to Udrich. Over Wade. And the shot no good, a bit short.
The movement and the shot selection are good there, but you can't hit them all.
Johnson against Smith. Now here's Wade. He's guarded closely. Here's Crowder, and he dunks it down.
That foul's got to be a lot harder than that if you're going to try to prevent Crowder from scoring.
And part of analyzing a game can be offering forth critique of players or officials or organizations. Chris, how do you find that balance of candor and yet not being too critical, being too harsh?
Great question. The way I try to have an honest balance is to remember how I felt when it happened to me.
Interesting.
When you're a player, if someone comes with hard, credible evidence, I mean, it's true. You can't take anything personal. But when guys are just criticizing the same jump shot that you made last play, I'm not that guy. So, I try to keep a balance by being fair and honest, first of all, to the fans of that city and that state, and letting them know how great their team is, but also that maybe their team is playing lazy. Maybe look at this effort not out there by the floor. But also, in a blowout game, I also give the team that's losing by 30 just as much respect as I do the winning team, because those guys work just as hard. This is just a specific night they didn't play that well. So I just try to make every game as special as it is to me, from being a kid growing up to being able to play in the league, but then also just being fair. Benefit of the doubt first, but if you do 2 or 3 stupid things, then you're a stupid player that night. Just being honest, having fun. And I've gotten some calls from players, and I don't care. I'm not hard to find. I just try to have fun, be honest, and no hard feelings.
Good on that shot, and with that, the Cavalier lead is cut down now to just 4 points with the basket from Marjanovic. Timeout called, Cleveland.
Well, look, the sheer size of Marjanovic is something that can intimidate even the tallest centers in the NBA. He's a legit 7'3" and comes in at least 290. Seemingly impossible to move him at times down low on the block.
Catching up on the changes for Cleveland. Kevin Love's checked in for Fry. Carter comes in for J.R. Smith. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for Dwayne Wade. Now Smith following the 3-point attempt by Kevin Love. Drummond the screen. Dishes it to Lure. Smith kicks to Harris. Over Carter. Drummond trying to get himself free. Harris misses. And to illustrate the size of Marjanovic, when Joel Embiid first checked into a game against him, he is visibly in awe of the size of Marjanovic. And Joel Embiid is a 7-footer.
Well, make no mistake about Boban, though. He is much more than a big body. He has a nice floater, a great turnaround jump shot, great at shooting from the free throw. I mean, good awareness. He might be the best 7'3" passer in the league.
Now, here is Smith following the miss by Kevin Love. Down low, and the dunk by Love.
And that was the play to make. Rose making the right read.
With the pass. Pistons trail by 6. Smith kicks to Harris. The shot drops. His shooting percentage improves. He's 3 for 7 now with that basket.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Outer dishes to Carter. Outside Rose. Rebounded by the Pistons. Drummond's got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Smith kicks to Harris. Over Carter. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. And now just a 2-point Cavalier lead. Cavaliers have gotten a little under 50% of their second quarter shots to find the mark. 4 of 9 all told. Rose kicks to Love. Back to Rose. Tries a 3. That doesn't go either for Rose. Harris passes to Brantley. Back to Harris. He nails it, and we're tied up. Harris has got 10.
Whether it's inside or outside, Harris remains steady and ready to shoot the ball. He definitely has the trust of his teammates and coach.
Now here's Rose. A 23-point game for him in the win against Indiana.
Huge hole in the defense that possession. He didn't waste any time cutting through it.
Here's Smith. Drummond, a screen. Smith kicks to Drummond. Over Love. Goes back up. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup. And while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old school type center. I mean, eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
Thompson, he's checked in for Cleveland. LeBron comes in for Shumpert. And the Pistons making a change here as well. Jackson's checked in. Love outside. 5 on the clock. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. And now let's bring up the 2K leaderboard to see which teams over the last month have been best at scoring points off turnovers. The Cavaliers, number 1.
They're taking advantage of every mistake that their opponents are making. I mean, they're really converting points off those turnovers.
Now here's Jackson. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And with Drummond, he does play like towering centers of decades past.
Yeah, I mean, he isn't great at moving the ball around or hitting shots from range, but his size and athleticism are elite and one of the best rebounders in our game.
We always talk about how different eras of the NBA had different feels and how the game was called and how the game was played. Chris, what is the biggest change you have seen to the game since your era?
2 changes. One, you can't hand check, and that's really physical. That used to wear you down, take you out the game, and that stopped the freedom of movement. And that, along with playing the zone, where you can't just guard a guy and have to stay in your area. Those are 2 big changes because it really helped the offense. And so we want to see a lot of scoring, but today it's not easier to score because these guys have wonderful skill sets, but the game makes it easier to score because of the rules, because you can get to the line so many times. Because before a hand check, you couldn't get to the free throw line if a guy pushed you out of bounds almost because the game is expected to be physical.
Right. Now LeBron following Tobias Harris's 3-point attempt. Rose against Jackson. Thompson. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got his 3rd assist on the night. Pistons trailed by 3. Outside Jackson. Lure the screen. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Jackson's got his first basket of the night.
And Jackson is unreal in the pick and roll, just taking whatever the defense gives him.
The drive by James, and so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And as successful as LeBron James has been, a max contract, all the endorsements, everything else, He's made his mark with his philanthropy.
Well, Kevin, my favorite part about LeBron is what he's done off the court. I mean, $2.5 million to the Muhammad Ali Museum. Think about this. This might be one of the greatest philanthropic moves, in my opinion, by an athlete. $40 million to pay for the college tuition of 1,000 Ohio school children. I mean, he's affected the world in ways much larger than basketball.
Now, here's Green after the miss from Reggie Jackson. Thompson sets the pick for James. Over Harris. Back to James. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
Now we get a chance to check out LeBron James. Tremendous numbers for him over the last 10 games. 3rd in shooting percentage, 10th in three-point field goal percentage, and he sits in the top 15 in points per game. An absolute powerhouse offensively.
And it's a strong accomplishment. 3rd best in field goal percentage. He just refuses to take bad shots. That's why his coaches love him. For Cleveland, they've gone 6 of 14 shooting here in the second. Green with a screen on Harris. Harris against LeBron. Outside Thomas. From deep. Some solid defense there from Jackson. The Pistons trailing. On the wing, Jackson. Here is Harris. He's got 10. Can't tie it up as that one's no good.
Look, you can't defend down low much better than that. Refuses to give him an easy path to the bucket.
Thompson, a screen on Harris. LeBron dishes to Green. Carter with the 3. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. Carter's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Pistons trail by 5. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
Drummond passes to Brantley. And Moore wide open. He shoots it. Detroit, no good that time either. Cleveland's gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. Thomas, good.
This is one of Thomas's go-to shots. Incredibly consistent from three-point land.
Drummond sets the screen for Jackson. Harris kicks to Drummond. There's a whistle, and it goes on Isaiah Thomas. That's his first foul. Dwayne Wade, he's checked in for the Cavaliers. Then for the Pistons, Marjanovic comes in for John Lure. And it's Johnson in for Harris. The dish to Jackson. The Pistons working the ball around now. And Drummond kicks to Johnson. There's a screen by Marjanovic. They need this. Shot by Johnson, no good. Cleveland leading by 8. LeBron with it. Now guarded by Bradley. Nice shot by James. LeBron's got 6.
And since the first quarter, we've seen them ease off on that long-range affair. And frankly, that's probably a good idea.
Now here's Bradley. He had 19 points in the win against Oklahoma City.
And he also drew a lot of fouls, forcing the defense to react to his aggressive style of play.
And I like the fact that the defense is looking to protect the rim at all costs. And Avery Bradley won the national high school title at Findlay Prep and was considered a top 5 prospect. Some had him even at number 1, and still after one season at Texas, he fell to the Celtics at 19 in that 2010 draft.
And Cleveland making a change here. Smith is checked in. Jason Smith, he's checked in for Detroit. Now here is Smith. He's coming off a 10-point game against Indiana.
And he also positioned himself well to protect the rim, swatting a couple of shots, making his presence felt on that end.
And Bradley, a great athlete. He won the dunk contest in high school, terrific player, but he's not a big highlight player, it seems, in the NBA, Greg.
Yeah, you know, his strength and explosiveness more on display defensively, and that's been his meal ticket. He's added skill, though. He's turned the corner and has become a two-way threat.
Here's Thomas, following the basket by Stanley Johnson. From 15 feet away, goes back up, out to Wade. Smith against Johnson. Smith dishes to Thomas. And the 3 off target.
But he's just looked lost on offense. But luckily for him, his teammates have really stepped up in a big way.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Smith outside. Back to Thomas. 16 seconds left in the first half. A beautiful reverse layup. Thomas got 8.
Oh, never shy about going inside. Thomas may be small, but he doesn't let that stop him.
Wade against Bradley. Here's Jackson. Got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish. And so it's the Cleveland Cavaliers in control with the 9-point lead to end the quarter. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Tristan. What was most important for the team and for yourself?
You know, defense is going to win games for us. So, you know, we're definitely stressing on that. But, you know, offensively, just continue to refine my game and go out there and compete.
We know you'll be ready, Tristan. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. The first quarter for the Cavaliers was fairly even. They never dug too deep a hole for themselves in the first period. The most they trailed by was 5. They really did some damage in the second quarter, and as things started clicking for them, they were able to get out to a 9-point lead by halftime. What'd you think, Shaq, about Cleveland?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball, Ernie.
Over to Kenny. What'd you think about Detroit?
Well, they shot under 40% in the first half. There's your deficit. They missed some open looks, wide open. But overall, I thought the offense was stagnant. Look for their coach to draw up some specific plays to try to jumpstart them in the second half.
And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We'll see you later.
And now the third quarter about to get going. You look at Tobias Harris, he has really been playing well.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been 2 quarters, just a great effort for him for the entire half.
Yeah, right. I mean, the defense hasn't had an answer for this guy yet. Just too skilled, too driven this far.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment. Thomas with the ball, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court for Cleveland, the 2 stars, LeBron and Love, making up the forward positions. Isaiah Thomas out there with Derrick Rose, and it's Thompson in at the 5. Now here is Harris, following the shot by Tristan Thompson. Thomas against Jackson. He dishes it to Drummond. Over Thompson. Count it, and the Cavalier lead has been cut to just 7 points in the basket from Andre Drummond.
Drummond is just a behemoth, an absolutely devastating center who overpowers defenders constantly.
Now here's Love. James outside. Shot clock at 6. And here's Rose outside. Hits it from 3-point range. Rose has got the lead up to 10 now for Cleveland. Bradley against Rose. Lure the pass to Bradley. Trying his luck deep. Thompson with the rebound. Thompson's got double-digit rebounds now in the game. And it's Love missing.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
I'd love to hear his explanation of coach right there. I mean, that should be an interesting conversation.
Now, here's Bradley. 5 points in the game. Bobbed up there for Drummond. Nice catch and finish on the alley-oop.
But you got to respect the shot selection of Drummond. He does not play outside of himself, always in control.
And stolen by Drummond. Harris kicks to Jackson. And stolen by Love. Now Thompson. 6 points for him. Love dishes to James. Outside Thomas. Lock at 6. Back to James. A 3-ball. That's good. And it's Thomas picking up the assist. Thomas got 3 assists now in this one.
And the D has gotten a little bit laxed here defending the triple.
You so often hear about how much Detroit Pistons fans pride themselves on the defense of this team. It's a part of the franchise's identity. All the fans in Detroit definitely love their defense.
Out of bounds, Pistons ball as Detroit keeps possession. And a look here at the shot chart for the Cavaliers.
And this is a bit of a nightmare game for him thus far. Just nothing working, and it has to be affecting his confidence. He just doesn't look like the player he normally is out there, and you can see it in his body language after every missed shot. Boy, this is tough. And a moment here to see the numbers for Reggie Jackson. He's one of the standouts over the last month. He's right around 17 points a night, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. And guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
Cleveland leading by 9. The screen from Thompson. Off the screen, and the dunk by James.
James is used to scoring through contact. Doesn't matter what the D throws at him.
Detroit with the ball. Now here's Jackson. He's been a factor in their offense on most nights with his scoring average at nearly 16 points a game. And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And Chris, we know you are always trying to connect with our fans over social media. We have a question for you sent in by a viewer who asked, Chris, if you weren't a basketball player, what other profession do you think you may have pursued?
Wow. Well, I used to want to be a wrestler and and other guys like that. But no, my mother was a teacher, and I always was with her in school. And I think, I love kids and hanging around kids. So it would definitely be something where I'm instructing kids. I don't know if it would be school or if it would be a gym teacher or if it would be working with kids in some type of way, but I definitely would want to work with kids.
I can see you as a teacher. Like if you were a wrestler, like what would your name be? Like would you be like the Flash?
Yeah, oh man,
like, what name
it was some terrible names back there. Junkyard Dog, Coco Beware, Ultimate Warrior, Superfly Snooker. I know I gave my name back. I gave myself a name back in there. I don't know. I'd have to figure out first what my persona was. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know. I had to think about that one. But I'm too skinny, man. I think I've broken up in that ring. I know that for sure. So I think I made the right decision.
Detroit, no good that time either.
Hey, look, that's what they want. The ball is in his hands in the post. Just didn't have the touch that time.
Thomas against Smith. The kick out to Rose. LeBron outside. Crowder sets a screen for LeBron. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. LeBron's got 13.
At the defensive end, they've lost some of their focus since halftime.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Lure the pass to Harris. And that's going to be a travel.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for Drummond. 4th in blocks, 5th in rebounding, and he's a defensive ball hawk. You can't let your guard down. Remember, he's 10th in the league in steals per game.
And yeah, he's been a brutal shot blocker all season long. As you said, top 5 in the league. He's a dangerous force to face inside. Iman Shumpert's checked in for Cleveland. LeBron James on the wing, guarded by Harris. And LeBron James gets it to go.
They are just killing him on the interior.
Harris a screen on Rose. Over in the corner, Lure. Their offense stone cold. Another miss there. To the paint. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Here's Harris. They get it again. And Lure gets it to go. Lure's got his first points of the night.
Love the grit on the offensive glass. Those are just effort points.
Here's LeBron, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
Well, LeBron James can do everything on a basketball court. It's his passing that's always stood out to me. His vision at his size, I mean, historically great.
And you lump in LeBron with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird when you talk about players 6'8", 6'9", who can control a game, Chris, simply with their passing.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about yours truly, but he can pick you apart. He sees over the top of defenses, and he throws bullet passes that leave the defense no time to recover.
Marjanovic checked in for John Lewis.
Well, you got to admire LeBron. I mean, he's such a competitive athlete. He's one of the most competitive athletes you'll see in all of sports.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over.
And for the Cavaliers, every move they make is going to be under the microscope. When you have the league's most dominant player in LeBron James, there's pressure to make the most of his window.
Here's Udrich. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Harris inside, covered by LeBron. Harris missing again.
He's not the only one to blame for them being behind, but he hasn't helped their cause much.
And for the city of Cleveland, you can't overstate the impact of the Cavaliers' first title back in 2016.
Yeah, a city that has felt cursed in a lot of ways. Now it's been lifted. There's a sense they're back on a level playing field with the rest of the country.
Drummond, a screen. Fires from the line. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. 14 points for Tobias Harris.
You got to be cautious with Harris when there's a screen being set. He's very good at finding space and cashing in on the defense's mistakes.
James kicks to Rose. He tries for three, sinks the three-pointer. Rose has got two now from beyond the arc in the third for Cleveland. Pistons trail by 20. Smith kicks to Drummond. No good on the shot. Nice D from Rose. Cavaliers have gone 8 of 12 from the field since the beginning of the third. Here is the list of players with the most boards in the league this month. The NBA's leading rebounders. Third is Andre Drummond. Fourth, Tristan Thompson.
What a rebounding show these two have put on. That's exactly the kind of effort you like to see from your bigs.
Looking at who's out there now for the Cavaliers. J.R. Smith's checked in for LeBron. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Rose. Marjanovic. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And Chris, if you're a Pistons fan, you have to be happy with the direction this team is headed. A good, youthful core, a brand new arena. Things are looking up.
Oh, yeah. 3 championships in the history. 2 of those were back-to-back, and another final. But if you look back at the Pistons' history, just like most organizations, it's full of valleys and peaks. And they just went through a valley for the past 7 years or so. And we'll see how things are lining up for them. It looks promising, but they have to come through and execute.
Now here's Love. They've been leaning on him for a decent chunk of their offense. He's averaging over 15 points a game.
It seems like they found their rhythm offensively, and they're shooting the ball much better out of the break.
Smith against Wade. Smith kicks to Marjanovic. Over Love. No good on the shot. A bit long that time.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
And it's Green. Missing. Pistons trail by 20. Johnson kicks to Udrich. Back to Johnson. The Pistons working the ball around now. Wide open. It's good. This time the assist from Udrich. Johnson's got his second basket.
Oh, and when Johnson senses the D is laying off of him, he loves going straight up with the shots, catching the D off guard. Just a very efficient shooter.
Here's Smith. Good D from Love.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
The Cavaliers leading by 18. Crowder kicks to Love. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
Well, Kevin Love is a great rebounder. We all know that. Very skilled.
And when you look at Love's game defensively, Chris, what stands out?
Well, he avoids cheap fouls. He controls the backboards, and just a great scorer.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. Thomas is checked in. Both free throws good from Kevin Love.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. And with Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love, the Cavs have some elite offensive rebounders, able to create extra offensive possessions.
Well, their offensive rebounding rate fell off quite a bit last season, from 9th best to 20th. I mean, they just got smaller without Mozgov and some of the other 7-footers they have, and another team's prepared for them.
And the Pistons making a change here. Jackson's checked in. Again, the miss by the Pistons. Cleveland's gotten going here in the second half from outside, nailing 3 of 4 from the arc. And Thomas, here we go. Yes, that goes in. Thomas got 10 points.
Well, Thomas is one of the fastest guys in the game. He just demonstrated that when he drove to the rim in everybody's face.
Smith outside. There's a screen by Marjanovic. Here's Johnson. Second chance shot, and the whistle blows, so a chance here for a three-point play.
Well, he just exploited the size mismatch, and he's getting easy looks tonight.
For Detroit, they have had an off night from the stripe tonight. Thompson, he's checked in for Kevin Love. And Detroit with a change here, too. Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Ish Smith. Cleveland leading by 19 points. Outside Crowder. Outside Thomas. Back to Wade. 5 to shoot. Over Bradley. Here's Crowder. A rebound by Marjanovic. Marjanovic has got his 7th rebound here tonight. Jackson dishes to Bradley. Pass to Marjanovic. He kicks it to Jackson. Tries from 16, and he hits the jump shot.
And you can see that Jackson has put a lot of work in on his mid-range J. Definitely a legitimate threat from there.
Outside Thomas. 1:14 left here in the third quarter. And he gets it to go. Thomas got 4 points in the quarter.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
Oh, yeah, up by double digits. They're trying to keep the momentum, keep the foot on the neck. That's his focus right now.
Now here's Jackson. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him. He's got 6.
And Jackson is very good at catching the D off guard, especially inside where he needs to be fast and getting that shot off.
Here's Thomas. And again, it's Cleveland.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
Outside Jackson. Smith against Crowder. Smith kicks to Bradley. Marjanovic, a screen on Smith. And he banks in the layup. And that's now 6 points for Johnson.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
Thomas against Jackson. And here is Thomas. He's got 14. Out to Smith. Shoots the 3. It doesn't go for him. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Cavaliers lead by 17. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Quicken Loans Arena.
Yeah, living like college. Yeah. T-Y, what up? Ali, what up? Living like, yeah, living like college.
Let's listen in now to head coach Stan Van Gundy from a few moments ago.
Hey, come on, we got to do this together and play some defense. Let's go.
Stan Van Gundy pleading with his team, guys. Get on the same page is his message, and stay together.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to take good communication on both ends of the floor to give Coach what he wants.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. On the court for the Pistons, Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt. Johnson is out there with Jason Smith, and it's Marjanovic in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Jason Smith at the line for 2.
That free throw, no good. And Chris, as you grew up a Piston fan being born in Detroit, which Piston were you the biggest fan of when you were growing up?
Oh, wow. By far, Isaiah, no question. Isaiah was the heart and soul of that team. The guy that was smiled, but had the heart of an assassin that wanted to play and use everything that he had to get a win out of every game. The best small guard, in my opinion, the game has seen. His handles, his leadership. He was just a Chicago kid trying to make it. And then, of course, Joe Dumars and the fact that, he was just so solid, such a great guy for the community, such a heck of a two-guard out there, a defender, a guy that can spread the floor. And, of course, Bill Laimbeer, his physical play, Bob Lanier, my man Rick Mahorn, Adrian Dantley, Mark McGuire. I could keep going. Chuck Nevitt even was a Piston for a while.
Jackson against Thomas. Screen by Smith. He feeds it to Bradley. It's good, the assist that time from Smith. 8 points for Avery Bradley.
Oh, three-point shooting. I mean, the strength of Bradley's game offensively, incredible.
We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Thompson sets the pick for Thomas. Over Jackson. They get it back, and Thompson kicks to Wade. Right side, Thomas. Out to Smith. Back to Thomas. Cleveland moving the ball around. And another three from Smith.
Well, he's played a smart and strong game. His field goal percentage improved.
Pistons trailed by 19. Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. And Isaiah Thomas, phenomenal in the pick-and-roll game.
Well, he's one of the best isolation scorers in the league. It's almost impossible to keep him in front of you because he has so many ways to score. He has a low center of gravity. He's quick, and he's not afraid of contact.
Yeah, some of it's shot selection, some just bad luck, and they just can't get anything going.
Well, this is the dilemma as a coach. You wonder, do I need to call a timeout here? Do I need to settle these guys down? Should I let them play through it?
James checked in for the Cavaliers. And then for Detroit, Drummond's checked in for Marjanovic. John Lure comes in for Jason Smith. And Harris subbed in for Stanley Johnson. Now here's Bradley. Here's Lure. Drops in the tray.
Wow, that's solid recognition by Drummond. Seeing a gaping hole in the defense and finding the open man.
LeBron is doubled. Thompson outside. In the corner, Crowder with it. LeBron outside. Crowder a screen on Harris. Jackson against James. Outside Thomas. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. And that's 17 points for Isaiah Thomas. Jackson passes to Bradley. Harris outside. Here's Lure. Tried to come right back with the three of his own, but it's no good. James against Harris. Stolen by Jackson. Outside Bradley. Basket is good, and he'll get a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
Well, usually when you talk about a 6'2 shooting guard, you figure undersized defensively. Avery Bradley, Chris, won first-team All-Defense in 2016.
Oh, well, I love Avery's game, and let's talk about his improvement offensively. This guy was a candidate and should have won Most Improved in the league, in my opinion as well. Just such a hard worker, the heart and soul of his team.
Pistons trail by 17. Jackson with it. Now Thomas defending. Outside Jackson. Here's Drummond. Lays it up and banks it in. That gives him the double-double. 11 points and 17 rebounds. Harris against LeBron. Got it. Number 7 on the night. 7 for 11 from the floor.
And since halftime, he has been a different player.
Jackson against Thomas. 13 feet away. And that one comes up a bit short. The Cavaliers leading by 17. LeBron dishes to Wade. Lure against James. It's stolen by Harris. Here's Bradley. And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's his third foul of the game. To the inside.
Oh, James is a tough defender. He uses his body well. He stays with this man and makes life difficult on him. He didn't let that first half get him down. He has come out firing on all cylinders to begin this second half.
Free throw good, Drummond. Cleveland's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Thomas kicks to Thompson and stolen by Drummond. Here's Harris. Hangs. Lure can't hit.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim.
Now, here's Wade. Crowder sets a screen for Wade. Shot clock at 6. They set the pick. He tries for 3. That shot missing. Bradley with some nice D.
And thus far, they've managed to overcome an off game from him offensively.
Lure against James. Here's Harris. Good D by LeBron.
Well, Kev, I'm not sure if it's because he's shooting on the opposite side of the floor this half, but he just can't buy a bucket.
The screen from Thompson. Wade outside. It's Crowder on the wing. Back to Wade. Upside Thomas. It's stolen by Harris. Floats one up, and the layup is up and in.
Oh, and it's not easy to measure these floaters, but Harris has really mastered the craft.
And that replay presented by Under Armour showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Thomas against Jackson. Upside Thomas. Passes to James. Wade for 3. And it's Wade again missing. Pistons trail by 12. Outside Jackson. And the pass to Lure. Kicks to Harris. Feeds to Drummond. 5 on the clock. Here's Jackson. Got it from 16 feet.
That's nice form on the jumper from Jackson. He looks more and more comfortable taking these shots with each game passing.
Jackson against Thomas. Trying to get back on track. And that one drops.
And giving up some height, he just finds a way to carve out a little separation.
Well, it takes a lot of confidence and toughness to make that.
And when you look at what the Pistons have done, pretty clear this is a team that has a vision of who they want to be. Strong defensively, really good at rebounding the basketball, and I think deliberate and patient on the offensive side of the floor.
Catching up on the changes for Cleveland. Kevin Love comes in for Jay Crowder, and it's Rose in for Dwayne Wade.
Love the edge that Thomas plays with. He knows there's no other way to play his game.
Lure the pass to Bradley. Smith outside. Lure a screen on Thomas. The 3 from Bradley. Offensive rebound. Drummond. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Here's James. The kick out to Rose. Good, and the assist goes to James. James has got his 4th assist in this one. And with the Pistons, this has been the identity the team has been aiming for under Stan Van Gundy. It's taken shape, but has yet, Greg, to produce big results.
I think it's because they've just always been one or two pieces short of making that next jump. I think the conference has gotten stronger, and while their best players are really good, I don't think they're quite at that elite level yet to allow this group to take that next step. Yeah, that's 2 straight three-pointers they've allowed.
Pistons trail by 17. Inside. Lays it in off the pretty alley-oop.
Well, this is what Smith does best, keeping his eyes moving to set up the open man.
Thomas kicks to James. Back to Thomas. Also picked by Love. Lobbed up there for Love. Clock at 6, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Thomas.
Well, the defense had nothing to do with that turnover. They're just fortunate. That's just plain sloppy passing.
Detroit's gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Bradley kicks to Smith. Pass to Harris from the corner. Back to Smith. Harris outside. Here's Lure. Off target with his 3.
And there have been some terrible shot choices here, Kev. That's not a good look at all.
And here's Love for 3. That one no good. And the Pistons now going the other way.
Just not there from a rhythm standpoint right now. It's really eluding him.
Bradley with the ball. That one's not going to go. Good D by Thompson. And that's out of bounds. Cleveland will retain possession. Now Thomas. Love with the screen on Smith. Thomas with the ball. He's picked up by Drummond. Rose kicks to Love. Cleveland moving it around. Shot clock at 5. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. Here's Rose.
Oh, nice defense there. I mean, that's Bradley's mentality, always trying to lock his man down.
And there's a call on Tobias Harris. That is his first foul of the game.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
The Cavaliers leading by 15. Now here's Thomas, and the whistle blows. It's going to be on Ish Smith. That is his first foul of the game.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
On defense, Detroit. Here's Thomas, and it's sent back by Drummond.
Shooters have to be careful when Drummond is roaming nearby. He is a defensive menace who takes his shot blocking very seriously.
For Cleveland, they've gone 7 of 15 from the floor here in the fourth. Right around 46-47%. Shot to end this full run, and Love throws it down.
And now they are probably too far ahead. It's going to be nearly impossible to get back in this one.
That's why you can't let yourself get in this deep a hole. Very little time now to climb up.
Now here is Harris. Here's Drummond. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's going to go on Tristan Thompson.
And the force Drummond plays with really making the D feel uneasy.
That free throw, no good. And every player out there has a story about falling in love with the game. Chris, when did you fall in love with basketball? And what was it like playing basketball as a kid?
Well, it's so hard to remember when you first fall in love with basketball. There's so many great moments and great stories that you hear. But probably playing on the playground and seeing all the guys laughing and hearing the music and hearing the guys say check up and next game and smelling the sweat and seeing guys play physical. That's probably what it was. And then being able to play at a great gym called St. Cecilia in Detroit, and then watch all the other players that played before us come in, the Isaiahs, Magic Johnson, Spencer Haywood, Terry Durod. I mean, you get to watch these guys play. Derek Coleman, Steve Smith. I could go on all day. Mark Makins, Terry Mills. I could just keep going. It was so fun watching these guys play. So to me, I fell in love with it as a kid, but every instance, every memory that I have made me fall in love with it that much more. How can you not fall in love with the greatest game ever played?
Well said.
No question as to which team gave the better effort tonight. A dominant performance and an outstanding win for Cleveland.
Great, generous ball movement tonight. A thing of beauty.
Yeah, a remarkable team effort. They got everyone involved.
And so taking a look at their season record, this will be win number 31 on the year.
And as we get set to put this one to bed, a one-sided season series thus far. They've won 2 straight.
And guys, one of the steady and outstanding players putting in another impressive performance. It was a big-time outing for LeBron.
Anytime the offense ran through, good things happened. His passing was awesome. He created a bunch of good looks for everyone else out there.
And here's Smith following the three-pointer by Derrick Rose. There's a whistle, and it goes on Isaiah Thomas. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2.
Ish Smith at the line for 2.
Free throw drop for Smith.
You know, Kevin, the resiliency of Smith is something you have to admire. He's bounced around the league, but has finally become a valued rotation player.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. Timeout called the Cavaliers. They're up by 13. 29 seconds left in the game. What's your take, guys?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
My guess is that they're just trying to avoid some monumental breakdown after having dominated up to this point.
.29 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. Rose up on top. He's guarded by Udrih. Outside Rose over Udrih. And Channing Frye gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul of the game. And the bonus will go to the free throw line. There's 14 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Johnson the screen. Drummond dishes to Udrih. From deep three-point range, off target with that shot. And so it's Cleveland taking care of business in this one. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. And once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Well, Dwayne, you won the game, but you lost the rebounding battle. How did you overcome that?
I don't know. You know, we have a knack for finding a way to win, and we've always had that here. You know, we got to do a better job. You know, we can't get out-rebounded like that and expect to win, so we got to figure it out.
Sure you'll be working on it. Thanks, Dwayne. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.